The symptoms of ADHD are very obvious. Like, okay, if you ask me about the symptoms of ADHD, literally you're asking me to describe myself, because that is me every day. Disorganization, serious disorganization. Like, I could want to do something but not have the energy to do it, and I won't care, I won't do it. So you find that sometimes, most of the times, the room is disorganized, dishes are not cleaned on time, you don't feel like completing a task. Sometimes you cannot concentrate. Like, sometimes you could just open a book and try to read and read a page over and over and over and over again and still not understand anything. You could have intense moods, extreme moods. Could be happiness, could be sadness. So if you're around someone with ADHD, you're probably going to be met by some of these extremes, and you need to learn to live with them, as well as they need to learn to live with other people at the same time. Another characteristic is boredom. We get bored easily. If something is not entertaining enough, I'm going to get bored, and as soon as I get bored, I zone out of it, which makes it hard to concentrate. So another issue is concentration in class, maybe even at the office, at work, and you really cannot bring your brain to concentrate. Sometimes you even want to, you are aware of the fact that you can't concentrate, but you really cannot. You're not making it up, you really cannot concentrate. Even if you tried, you cannot concentrate. That is another symptom of ADHD. Another symptom is interrupting. I interrupt stories all the time. Now, it's important to note that symptoms of people with ADHD, everybody could have those symptoms. Okay, everybody at some point has stopped paying attention. Everybody at some point has forgotten something. But people with ADHD, we do it too often. I forget stuff all the time. Like, sometimes I assume I'm just donating it. Like, this year, I have bought about 5 umbrellas, and the umbrella I'm using right now is my neighbor's, because I'm not gonna spend more money. And it's this: every time I go somewhere, I forget something. I always have a notebook. I always have a list, but somehow I forget something. Sometimes I remember everything and leave the notebook. So forgetfulness, and it's not even with just stuff. For example, I'm always having arguments with my boyfriend about closing the door behind me. I never all the time, like every time I'm like, I'm sorry, I won't forget again, but it's just not something I remember to do. Okay, I just always forget. So that forgetfulness. And then emotional turmoil. Oh, Jesus Christ. Emotional turmoil. When you're emotionally tired, that is me. Like, sometimes I just want to cry, and I start thinking of the most sad things. I just want to cry. Sometimes I'm in a mood and I pick fights. Sometimes I'm emotionally worn out. Sometimes I'm so happy. So happy. I want to spread the love. I want to call my mom, my sister, my brother. I want to check on all the people I love. It's just like all these emotions that are so intense. Unfinished task. Yeah, this is another one. Task. When we are starting something, especially if it's something, an initiative I took on my own, I am so excited to be doing it. Like, if I decide I want to start a YouTube channel, for example, on ADHD today, I'm all psyched. But that energy dies down, and here's the thing: a normal person could be like, I'm not in the mood to do it, but because I know I have to do it, I'm gonna do it. With the ADHD, the not willing to do it is so strong that you just end up not doing it. And how you go about this is, maybe you postpone, you procrastinate, you start giving excuses. Like, I've been meaning to start this channel since June, and every time I'm always like, but I need a good mic, but I need lighting, but I need a camera. But then now I had everything intact, but I'm like, but I'm not ready. I don't know enough about ADHD. Am I ready to share this information with the world? It's always building excuses in my head, because it's like, it's easier to just have this excuse than to actually do it. Okay, and this is something that needs to be fixed. If you ever find anyone who's like a rolling stone, I can't have long-term goals, because your short-term goals keep changing. Today I want to be a lawyer, tomorrow I want to be a news anchor, today I want to start a business, tomorrow I want to have a YouTube channel, today I want to be an influencer, tomorrow I want to delete all my social media accounts and just live a private life, because a private life is a happy life. You see, these emotions, decisions, I can't even make a long-term decision based on emotions, because my emotions are a rolling stone, and because of that, then my decisions are like that. So you find someone with ADHD with a lot of unfinished projects. Self-focused behavior means in inability to recognize other people's needs and desires. Yani self-centered, when you're unable to pay attention to other people and be considerate of their feelings or what they need to do. Okay, this can be me when I was little. Like, I didn't really feel bad if I refused to do the dishes and my mom made my brother do the dishes, if I pretended to be sick just so I don't have to do one, two, three. And for people with ADHD, especially when you don't know when it's ADHD, you just know you're struggling with something. Or sometimes you think something is wrong with you. You just think, "Oh, something is wrong with you." And because when you get tired of feeling like the victim, you just kind of develop this attitude of, I don't care, so what, I'm careless, whatever, I'm lazy, whatever. And because of that, I feel like you have to have a coping mechanism, like a cover, an excuse for your actions, because at some point somebody somewhere has looked at me and wondered what is going on in her head. My friends, my family, if you know me in person, I am 100% sure, if you have interacted with me long enough, at some point you looked at me and you were like, but that's because we operate differently. uh my emotions, my actions, mismanagement of funds. That's another characteristic. Disorganization in your surroundings, in your work, in your house place, in your finances. You find yourself with lots and lots of debts, and somehow you're making money and it's going somewhere and you're not moving forward because you just keep making these wrong decisions over and over again. Like me, by the end of November, I was like, I need help. Black Friday is killing me. Self-focused behavior, interrupting people, because it's like, I interrupt people when we are having stories because I feel like my story is more interesting than theirs and I don't want to forget mine. And mine is so often, and I don't even realize that I'm overstepping. Like I said, these characteristics could apply to people who don't have ADHD as well. So don't watch this video and automatically assume, I think I have it too. These are things that you constantly deal with, and I promise you, especially if you're an adult and you watch this video, if you have ADHD, you will know. These are things that people struggle with so much. These are things I have struggled with so much. I believe all my 25 years I have been on this earth could have been so much different had I known what I'm struggling with. Fidgetiness is another symptom. Fidgetiness is when you're unable to stay in one place. You can be like shaking your hand, eating your nails. Mine is the truth. Man, I'm always gnashing my teeth, even when I'm sleeping. It's always like the You see that? And sometimes it could be anything. People eat their nails, could be shake their legs. People do this. It's like they're chewing onto their tongue. Yeah, it's unable to stay completely still. You just have to be doing something, especially when you're nervous or bored in a meeting. In a meeting. Lack of focus, unable to focus. I already talked about that. Avoidance of task, extended mental effort. Yeah, I avoid tasks. If you find yourself, I know I have to do those dishes. Nobody else is going to do them. It's me. I know I have to clean the house. It's me. I just keep avoiding that task so that I find myself doing dishes at 2 during the day instead of in the morning, or I find myself cleaning the house when it's almost dark. It's just because I keep avoiding it as if somebody else is going to do it. And it's extra effort even for myself to be able to get it done. That's the thing. And the problem is always starting. My problem has always been starting, because it's always so, if I'm on my phone and I'm playing Candy Crush, it's very hard to get me from Candy Crush. You know, I could spend 4 hours on Candy Crush. Seriously. It used to be social media and now it's Candy Crush. It's always something that is more enticing and it's more pulling, and I don't feel like doing what I know for a fact that I need to do. Mistakes. Constantly making mistakes, especially in children and even in adults. I remember when I was little, my mom will send me, enda ununue mafuta ya kupika, and then I will come back with sugar or salt. She sent me cooking oil and I come back with sugar or salt. And she would always be like, what is wrong with her? Like maybe send me something, and by the time I get to the shop I have forgotten what it was and I have to go back. And mine was like all the time, and it looks like it's hard to get things done perfectly, and that is something I'm struggling with. Even as an adult, I have never been able to keep a job for too long, but last year I was able to stay in a job for more than 7 months, and that is because I was dealing with someone who was so patient with me. Because I promise you, I was constantly making the silliest mistakes, and my job was very easy: fill in the pages, write this and this and this and this, but somehow I always make a mistake somewhere. I always miss something. I forgot a zero, I added an extra zero, I wrote the wrong category, I sent the wrong statistics. It's always prone to error and mistakes. As long as if I don't double and triple check that thing, most probably something is going to go wrong, which is probably why I can't keep a job for too long. And aside from that, I get bored easily. So like I might sign up for a job and go for 1, 2, 3 days, and then the fourth day I don't feel like doing it. And the difference with me and other people don't feel like doing the work, but they do it anyway. Me, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I remember this shoot I went for. I got a really nice role. I love acting. I got a really nice role, and we actually shot day one, and we shot a couple of shots, and they expected me to be on set the next day. I woke up early. I woke up on time, and I was not in the mood. I spent the next 3 hours struggling, and just go shower, get out, shower, get ready, you know? And by the time it was around 9, they were blowing up my phone. You were supposed to be on set at 6 a.m. Where are you? And I left and I got to the gate and I was like, fuck this. And I returned to the house. That could have been good money for me, and that could have been a good exposure for me, and I'm pretty sure I will never have an opportunity to work with these people again. And by the time it was around 1, I broke down. I started crying, because how the fuck am I supposed to tell anyone that I didn't go, and it's because I didn't want to? I couldn't go because I didn't want. Do you know how lame that? I know this sounds lame to you, but let me tell you, the drive to do things when I'm not in the mood to, someone with ADHD, is hard. Now when I'm on meds is not hard. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's easy to tell myself, you know what, you need to do this, and get up and do it, even if you don't want to. Sometimes I still struggle, sometimes I don't, but it's a lot better. I have lost so many opportunities. And here's the thing with people with ADHD, like, you find yourself wondering or realizing how much you're missing out on, how many times you have let yourself down because you couldn't do things that other people do without effort at all. Okay, so those are just some of the symptoms of ADHD.